Hey guys, Bring It On Brothers here. Today I'm going to be showing us how to install a fence. You can see here I have a fence located on the back of my house. So what I want to do is bring that fence up to the front of my house. I need to build the fence from this corner to this post that I've already put in. Come on over here. This is my neighbor's yard fence. This is my fence. So I'm going to take this wire here, and you can use a nail, a string. For me, I'm just going to tie it to this bottom fence post here. We got it tied on here in line with our fence. We're going to pull it over here. The post I've already put in, I've already located this on my property line. I'm going to pull it nice and tight. Just the twisting around keeps the tension on the wire. So next, now that we have our line marked, we're going to go spray paint the ground where we need to put the post to. I'm going to hook it to this fence, as this represents the far side of this post that's behind this. I'm going to drag this out, and the normal length of 2x4s is 8 feet. So I don't know if you can see right here, we're at 8 feet. The thing we don't want to do is go beyond 8 feet, because then the 2x4 will be too short. So the trick will be is we want to actually have it about 1 inch short. We can always cut off material, but you can't add material to a fence. So I'm going to mark to 95 inches on the right side, and just going to kind of mark where the hole needs to be.
Like glass.
You want to make it so this side of the wire is where the side of the fence post on the outside of your yard will be. So that's why I did the hole a little bit oblong from the center line of the string, because the fence post side needs to be touching the wire. So now that we go on 8 feet, we're going to come over here and do one at 16 feet. The post is going to be right there. Usually you're going to want your hole to be the same size as your post shovel, and I'll show you that in a little bit. It's usually a 7-inch diameter hole. I'm going to take off this string while I dig, then I'll put it back when we're starting to put the post in the ground. Bring it on. All right, now that I have these 2 holes, I need to do 2 more over here. This is a big gate that I built. I'm using 2x2 16th wall steel tube, and that is why this pillar is so big. This pillar is a 5x5 3/8 wall, and it goes into the ground 3.5 feet, and the column here of concrete goes down 4 feet, 25 80-pound bags of concrete. I have rebar welded to it in 3 levels going down into the ground that stick out, and then I have vertical rebar, so this thing's super secure. When I engineered this, I designed it so with this long of a gate, which is 24 feet, it can withstand the weight of the gate with wood slats on it, plus 500 pounds of someone swinging on it, just in case, before this thing would bend in any way. This pillar is also full of concrete, so it is just super secure. The next step, now that I have those 2 in, is to put in 2 more posts here. I'm going to do a post right at the end of the gate, and another post right next to the house for a man door here. But before I can do that, I gotta mount this gate onto the post. This plate, 1/4 inch carbon steel. I'm gonna clean this up and weld this plate where I'm gonna be mounting this robust hinge to. So the bottom portion is gonna hook to the post. The top portion will hook to the gate. So something like that. And then if I ever need to take the gate off, this top portion goes off. There's going to be also another one located on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and weld this up. Got a Harbor Freight welder here. It's one of the cheapest welders you can buy. I think I got on sale for 90 bucks. I can post a link in the description below. It's their Chicago electric welder. This gate was all welded by this. Now that we have those plates welded in place, it's time to hook the hinges on. So I have it all leveled up. I used shims at this side, 2x4s, shims on that side, some 2x4s. You can see that I have it flush with the front of the house. All right, here we go. Yeah, look at that. With the hinges welded halfway. All right, as you can see, I got the other side welded. Both sides have a nice bead. Top and bottom, and the gate swings awesomely. Look at this. So I'm gonna grab it here and pull. Look at that. Just flows nice. Okay, now that I got this lined up with the front of the house, I've marked the ground where we need to dig the posts to be. One there, and one next to the house. All right, so we started digging the holes, and this one was just so hard that I've soaked with water. This water's been sitting for about an hour, which means it's very slow seeping in, but it is going in to soften the ground. This hole I got all the way dug with some help with some water. So while those are soaking, I'm gonna go ahead and prep the gate for painting. So the best thing to do is to use acetone. And I just like to take these workshop paper towels that are pretty robust, and I just get a good amount on there and start wiping everything down. Clean metal primer, but used on bare, painted, or lightly rusted metal for the ultimate finish. So I'm gonna prime this whole thing, and then I'm going to use a combination paint and primer spray paint to cover it. The trick with spray painting is you never stop while you're still holding the nozzle down. So that's why whenever I'm to the end, I let go of the nozzle, because if you stop in one spot, it's going to get more paint in that spot than if you don't. So that's just a little trick. Unless you go on side to side like this, it works, but usually you end up wasting a lot more paint into the air. Finished painting the gate, and now we're going to cement these posts in place. So first thing I do is, since I already have this corner one in place right where I want it, is I hook up this wire up to the corner and run it to where the fence line is over there. And what I'm going to do is take the fence post, line it up so it's just barely touching, and then I'm going to grab a level real quick, hold up, and you're going to put it up to it. Make sure it's level right when it's touching here. So now it's time to mix our concrete, and I got this high strength, it's an 80-pound bag. Just cut open the bottom and let it pour in, just like that. Should wear an N95 mask. So it's always better to do less water than more water. So I kind of just wet the whole top. Start mixing it up. And now I can see, oh, there's definitely not enough water to water everything. Put a little bit more in. Mixing it around for a while until you get all the powder. See how it's still powder there? So it should sit on there and not sloop off, but it should stay on there without dripping off. You can see how it's thick. So now that's sitting there, I'm just going to simply take it up, start pouring it. Keep correcting it as we go so it doesn't get too far off. And as you're putting it in, it's good to usually kind of give it a little wiggle. Gets all the pockets of air out, so it's ready to go. About right there. And we're gonna come to this side, right there. So now we'll let that dry for the next couple days until it's cured. So you're gonna want to check it every once in a while just to make sure that it's staying true. This one shifted a little bit already. Perfect. Got this post in over here. That'll be the stopper for the gate. And then you have this post here. That's the stopper for the large gate, and it will be the post for the man door here. It's a 6.5 foot door, so I can fit my lawnmower through. The concrete is now dry. It's been a couple days. This pole is in. The gate swings right up to it. And now I'm gonna run fence across that. I'm gonna use these brackets here from the existing fence and put them on. Why would you use 2x4s either sideways or vertical? It'll give you more lateral strength. So if you're worried about someone running into it, pounding on it, it's going to give you more lateral strength to make the fence stronger. Now putting it vertical will decrease that lateral strength, as this gives it more vertical strength so you don't get a saggy fence, smiley face. So I'm choosing to put them vertical like this. You want it near the top, in the middle, and at the bottom. And that's where you're going to get the most strength across your whole fence line. The previous fence that was already here, the bottom of the top rail, it was 6 inches from the yarn. So I'm going to just take my marker, measure up to my string. I'm going to mark it at 6 inches. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is just a fence. These are the existing boards. Kind of want to keep an old rustic feel on the new gate. And instead of having to drill a whole bunch of holes, about these self-tapping screws. So you screw through the wood into the metal, it drills a hole, and then it self-taps into the metal, holds itself in place. So whenever I'm doing a fence, I always use a level every board. And I try to put it right in the middle. And with these being pretty warped boards, it's a little tricky. As the wood dries, it shrinks, but the water inside the wood shrinks to the bottom. And so the bottom actually stays wider than the top after it dries. Your boards are going to get less and less parallel with each other and turn up. So you got to level every board. So you're going to put it in place, slide it up until it just starts moving the string, back it down to the string stops moving. Then I'm going to take the level, put it on the side right here. As you can see, it's leaning that way, the bevel's up higher. So I have to bring it out until it's level. You push pretty hard because it's going to pull the board off as the bit's trying to drill into the metal. Perfect right there. Do you see that? I'm going to put another screw down here. Use a level on every board. So here's the latch. This is a piece of rebar I welded onto the latch on the inside. Slide it out and opens up the gate. There's lock latch. And I welded the rebar onto the end here so I can open it up from the inside and outside. I didn't want anyone to be able to open up the big gate from the outside, so I just left it on the inside. Same latch, push it out. Alright, so as you can see, I put the gate super close to the ground. Only reason I did that is we have two cute bunnies who, if they see the smallest gap over an inch, they'll dig their way out. Normally, you'd want to leave a few inches off the ground to make sure it never hits anything, doesn't hit your toes. Hope you learned something. Thank you. Bring it on, brothers. I'm gonna not have my measuring tape. Where'd it go? Your fence. What are those called? Slats. Cross beams and your cement. Pause.